Hey guys, I'm here with a quick video to remind you about the LVCC online library resources and to show you a couple of places to look where you may not have thought to look. This is going to be helpful if you are struggling to find some research for the last paper, which I hope you are currently working on. So I'm already here on the library webpage, and I'm just going to scroll down to search for articles and show you a couple of options that are a little bit unusual. They probably showed you in the library modules that you did earlier this semester, but maybe they didn't, and maybe you have forgotten about it. So I'm going to just point out a few things. For most topics, it's perfectly okay to use these popular databases that show up right on the home page. You can see them there in the black boxes. But I also want to show you that it can be really useful to search the databases by subject. And so if you just scroll through quickly, you see there's business, criminal justice and law, which might be helpful for those of you who are writing about hate crimes. Encyclopedias are great. I know many of you mentioned you were still struggling to narrow down your topic. You might look in there just to see if you can see a quick overview article about your general topic, and maybe that will help you narrow it down further. A lot of my comments on your research proposals were about trying to narrow it down some more. Environmental studies, I know a couple of you are doing climate change, so you may find stuff in there. And then several of you are also talking about the medical field in one way or another. So you may look at nursing, health, and medicine. Of course, if you're doing sociology or psychology or behavioral sciences, which many of you are, this psychology one is going to be very useful to you. And I'm going to come back to that one in just a minute. Science and technology is going to be very useful for those of you who are exploring some tech issue. Social issues, controversy, and debate can be very useful if you are talking about a current social issue, which many of you are, so that's why I'm mentioning it. All right, so many places to look, and I want to show you why it's useful to go to the subject guides, because it cuts out all we subscribe to quite a few databases, and so if you know your topic is related to psychology, you can cut through all of the ones that are not that relevant and go right to psychology, and you see there's only 3, so you have fewer places to look for relevant articles. I'm going to pick the behavioral sciences collection because I want to show you how to do an advanced search. Sometimes it can be frustrating if you just use the search box that pops up when you open your window. I'm going to just type in something pretty basic like drug addiction. Except I can't spell, so let me try that again. Drug addiction. You can see a little menu of choices pops up. This is to help you think like a librarian and to try and find the words they used for their searchable database, which is incredibly helpful, as you can imagine. I'm going to pick this longer one. Because of the ORs, it's going to search for addiction or abuse or substance abuse, which is helpful because you're going to cover more bases that way. Now, the bad news is we have 55,000 hits on our search terms. So you might think, well, that's overwhelming. What am I going to do? Well, click on this little button, Advanced Search, and we're going to try to narrow it down. Now, I'm not even going to select a field here. You can, if you're looking for a particular author, you can select author. If you know the title, you can select title. You can search in a subject. All these things are fine. I'm just going to leave it open for now because that works well. And I'm going to leave these Boolean operators, which you learned about in the library modules, on and because I want to cross-pollinate my search terms and try to search for more than one thing at the same time. So I'm going to type in poverty here. And you'll see again, I have a lot of choices here. I think I'll pick poverty in the United States. And then just for fun, I'm going to add a third one. I think I'll pick women. Again, no particular reason. So again, I'll pick women, female, woman, females, covers more bases. Then I'm going to click search again. You're going to see that we will still get too many. Oh, I'm wrong. Not too many. 56 only. That's pretty good. So we really narrowed our search down from 55,000 to only 56. If you still think, well, that's a few too many, I'm going to go over here to the left-hand margin. I'm going to check two boxes, full text, and also I'm going to check peer-reviewed. So that's going to do two things for me. Checking full text is going to save me the frustration of seeing a title that looks really interesting, but our library doesn't subscribe to the database, so I can't look at it. I always find that terribly frustrating. Sometimes I go to Google Scholar or just search for the title with the word PDF added to the end, and sometimes you can find it that way on the internet if you get lucky, but I just skip that whole step, and I would just rather look at things I know I can read the whole article if I want to. And then it's really important to check peer-reviewed, because then you know you're getting scholarly articles. This just means that other people who are experts in the field have looked at those articles, have deemed them professionally done. It doesn't mean everybody agrees with them, but it means somebody legitimate with expertise in that area has written them, and other people think it's okay. I'm going to go one step further. You notice here you can set your dates. So I'm going to say, well, I would like to see things after the year 2000. And now I have 38 articles to look at. Okay. So now I have an article right at the top here. They are sorted by relevance, which is about methamphetamine during pregnancy. Okay, that's potentially interesting. I've got crime, poverty, etc., homelessness, and gender. So, you know, when I'm doing research, I skim through the titles and see, are any of these potentially useful to me? And if I'm not sure, there's one more thing I can check. So I'm going to click on the title, and you'll see there's going to be an abstract. Sometimes it's called a summary. In this particular database, it's called an abstract. That's what an abstract is. It's a summary of the article. So you can read this one paragraph. Sometimes they're a little longer than this one. One paragraph, get a nice idea of what this article is about, and then decide, okay, is it worth my time to actually read the whole thing? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes it's no. Either way is okay. All right, I'm going to go back to the library for just a moment because I want to show you just one more thing. There's a couple of overlooked databases. I think people just don't think about them. So this time I'm going to go to, again, search for articles, but I'm going to go to the A to Z listing. So I want to show you two things. One is called CQ Researcher. Here it is under C, CQ Researcher. And if you happen to find a report that matches up with something you're working on, I'm going to just stick with drug addiction because we're on that topic. Whoops. Let me try again. Well, here, I'll just go to drug abuse. Yeah, drug abuse. That works. We get a whole topic. Sometimes this one doesn't have any, but I usually look here on the right at the related reports to see if there's anything else that might be interesting. Sometimes these reports are long, sometimes they're short. They're a little bit like encyclopedias. Sometimes they're very generalized, but to me that makes them useful for narrowing down your topic. Okay, so that's one. The second one I want to show you is under O for opposing viewpoints. This again, sometimes you'll get nothing, but opposing viewpoints, if your topic happens to be in their list, great. It's being a bit slow. You can browse. They always have issues of interest. You can browse by subject. As you can see, nanotechnology, prisons, criminal justice, etc. Also lets you know if it's been updated or there's a new post about it. But you can also still, of course, just search in the box. And I'll just go to drug abuse again because that's what we used the last time. I'll pick read more so you can get a sense of what's included. Again, similar to the CQ Researcher, it has an explore section on the right so you can see more like this. You can view all related all related articles. Again, sometimes they're long, sometimes they're short. This one often has main ideas summarized like this with bullet points, so you can get a sense of what this article is about. Okay, those are my quick tips for maximizing success in our library databases. Remember, 50% of your sources for paper number 4 are supposed to be peer-reviewed academic articles. So make sure to keep that in mind as you start finalizing your selections this week. Please send in your questions to me and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. I hope it's going well. Let me know if it isn't, and have a great day.